So in previous video we have started learning about solving systems of linear equation using the Gaussian elimination method. So for any solution, first you need to find the particular solution to Ax is equal to b, and second step is find all solutions to Ax is equal to 0. Then combine the solutions from step 1 and 2 to form the general solution. So the final general solution will be the final answer after solving this set of linear equations. So here one thing to note is that neither the general nor the particular solution will be unique. So Gaussian elimination method, the first step to be performed in Gaussian elimination method is like you need to transform the linear equation into a simple form. So how this transformation can be done? So transformation can be done by applying the row operations on the matrices. So task is like we need to transform the equation into a simpler form. So for that it can be done by either exchanging the two equations, multiplication of an equation with any constant, or addition of the two equations. So the previous example when we have done based on this logic. Similarly, in case of matrices also we will be able to perform this logic. How? In case of exchange of two equations, the rows in the matrix will be exchanged. So here if I need to exchange between row 1 and row 2 means the exchange can be done like first row will be having the contents of the second row, and second, like that exchange of content value will be done. Then multiplication of an equation row with the constant means any row can be multiplied with the constant value, that is 4. So 4r3, like that, multiplying any row with some constant value. Then addition of two equations is like you will be able to perform addition between the two equations or two rows, like r1 plus r2. So r1 can be replaced with r1 plus r2, like that operations can be performed. This is the elementary transformation. And another case you need to understand is like you need to generate some pivot form, pivot values. So pivot values can be generated only if the matrix is in an upper triangular matrix, which means that the lower triangle will be like full of zeros and upper triangle will be having the values. Okay, in that form if we arrange the matrix means you will be able to solve the equation easily. So for that we need to transform the matrix into a row echelon form, which means that in row echelon form means in some way you need to make the values here as 0, so that in some way means performing the operations on the rows. You need to change the values non-zero value to 0. Okay, you need to transform the matrix into a row echelon form. So the leading coefficient from the row echelon format, you will be able to derive a pivot value. So what is a pivot value? Leading coefficient of a row, that is the first non-zero number from the left, will be called as the pivot. Okay, so in the first row case the first non-zero value is located here, so that will be considered as the pivot of the first row. And second row leading coefficient comes over here and it is a non-zero value, so this non-zero value will be considered as the pivot. And one thing to be kept in mind is like the pivot, it should be placed to the right of the pivot that is found in the top row. Okay, that is, it is always strictly to the right of the pivot of the row that is above it. So first row it is over here, so the second row should be towards the right. In case of third one also same thing, leading coefficient appears over here and it also falls towards the right of the second row. So this will be the pivot. And the last one, that it will be a 0 row full of zeros, all zeros, and so from there no pivot value is there. So here we are getting 3 pivots. And it forms a staircase structure. That is why it is called as row echelon form, where this echelon means that it is a staircase. And if you know the pivot value, means you will be able to understand the basic and free variables. Okay, so as we have said in the previous slides, each column will be representing the variables x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. So from that we will be able to understand the basic variables with the help of the pivot value. So here this is one pivot, this is pivot, and this is also one pivot. Okay, so in which columns this pivot occurs, those variables or those columns will be treated as the basic variables. Okay, pivot columns or the variable will be called as the basic variable. Variable corresponding to the pivots in the row echelon form are called as the basic variables. Other variables that doesn't have this pivot value, it will be termed as the free variables, and the column will be called as non-pivot columns or non-basic columns. Okay, that is free, basic and free variables. If the column it has the pivot, then that variable will be treated as the basic variable. That column will be called as a pivot column or basic column. So what is a row echelon form? Row echelon form, we can say a matrix is in row echelon form if all rows that contain only zeros at the bottom of the matrix, correspondingly all rows that contain at least one non-zero element are on top of the rows that contain only zeros, which means that all rows that contain only non-zeros will be placed at the bottom of the matrix, and rows that is having a non-zero value, it will be placed above the that is forming the top of the rows of that matrix. So looking at the non-zero rows only, the first non-zero number from the left is always strictly to the right of the pivot of the row above it. Okay, these two cases should be satisfied to determine whether the matrix is in a pivot form or not. A row echelon form or not. So here we can consider an example in which a system of linear equations is being given. So some operations is being performed, like transformations is being done in order to simplify the matrix. So first what you need to do before transformation, you need to generate an augmented matrix. So this equation will be giving rise to this matrix. So augmented matrix will be like A followed with the B values. It forms the augmented matrix. Okay, then transformations will be done for that matrix, like swap with R3, swap with R1. So after performing the swapping, you will be getting this matrix. Like that, different operations will be done. So this is a solution that is being given in the textbook. Okay. So how it can be done? First you will be generating an augmented matrix. Then solutions can be done like first we can swap R1 and R3. So you know how to generate this matrix, isn't it? This matrix can be generated from the system of linear equations. Ax plus Ax equal to B, that format you will be taking, and you will be generating the augmented matrix like this, in this format. So generating the matrix, it will be like this. Then perform swapping R1 and R3. After performing the swapping operation, you will be getting the matrix in this format. Then what you are doing, we need to that is, task is like you need to make it in an upper triangular matrix, isn't it? Upper triangular matrix you need to form by performing the row operations. So R2 gives R2 minus 4 R1 you can make, thereby you will be getting this this portion, you will be getting it as 0, and other values you need to write. After performing this operation, what is the value you will be getting, you need to write over here. And then R2 is transformed. Then again R3, this portion you need to make it as 0. So R3 can be made as 0 by performing R3 plus 2R1. So when you perform this operation, you will be getting the result like R3 also, some values will be getting as 0. Remaining values you need to write as such. That is, after computing what is the value getting, you need to put it over here. Then R4, then you need to change the values for R4. So R4 will be like R4 minus R1. So you will be getting these two values as 0, and compute the remaining values and write it like that itself. Then later again this value need to be made as 0, so that the lower triangular matrix these two values need to be made as 0. So for that, again what it does, R4 minus R2 minus R3. So after performing that operation, you will be getting the entire row as 0. Once you get the value as 0, what you need to do, you will be checking whether the matrix is in row echelon form. Yes, it is in row echelon form. How you will be able to, whether it is in row echelon form? No, because how you will be able to understand whether it is in a row echelon form or not, the lower matrix value, it is full of 0. Okay, that is correct. Then pivot you need to consider. So here pivot is 1, minus 1. Here minus 1 is there, so it is not considered to be as a pivot value. For row echelon form, the pivot value should be 1. So you need to transform this value to 1. Also you need to transform this value also to 1. So for that purpose, operation will be performed like R2 is equal to minus of R2. That is, what is the purpose of performing this operation? We need to transform this pivot value to positive value. So you need to compute this operation resulting in positive value in here in pivot. Then R3 is equal to minus 1 by R3, 1 by 3 R3. So by doing like that, what happens? This minus 3 can be transformed to 1, resulting the matrix into a row echelon form. Okay, so pivots are placed over here, and all zero row, it is placed towards the bottom of the matrix. So these conditions it is satisfying. So the resulted matrix, it is in row echelon form. Then you need to rewrite the equation like that is obtained matrix can be rewritten like this. So after rewriting, you will be able to know that this A value, last equation is like this: 0 is equal to A plus 1. So you can just substitute the value of A as minus 1 to get not substituting the value, that is, you will be getting the solution like A is equal to minus 1 from this equation. So now after formulating this, you need to find the particular solution. That is the first step for solving the system of linear equation. So till now we have just converted it to row echelon form and solved the value for